Losing belly fat and getting a six pack is one of the highest wishes on anybody who's ever been going to the gym or been struggling with weight loss wish list. And I get that. I struggled with losing weight for 7 years before I eventually hit a breakthrough and then spent 8 months losing 45 pounds. And I'm still chasing getting rid of that last bit of fat to get that six pack. But I can almost guarantee you that the thing you want is not a six pack, it is the physique that everybody associates with a six pack. Just imagine, have you ever seen a guy looking like this? Have you ever seen anybody with big thighs, big arms, in general, a body that looks overweight but then just has a six pack? No, right? You don't. And that's because you can't just lose belly fat and get a six pack and have the rest of your body still be fat or overweight. It's simply not possible. I hate to break it to you. I believe myself that I could just, slim down on my stomach and get a six pack for a lot of years, but that's just not possible. Imagine if you're trying to mow a lawn. If you want the entire lawn to look great, because that is what you associate with a good looking lawn. It's not just that the center of the lawn is very well trimmed and completely green. It is every single strand of grass has to be cut to perfection and has to be exactly the right height. Well, it's exactly the same with your body with weight loss, especially when trying to get that six pack. You can't just expect that your arms can have a lot of excess fat, your chest and your legs, your thighs can have a lot of excess fat, and then you just have no fat on your belly. Because you can't just slim down on one spot, you have to slim down entirely. Again, using the lawn example, you have to make sure that the entire lawn is the right height for the lawn to look great. Makes sense, right? And so the thing that you want is the physique that you and everybody else associate with a six pack. It is that Greek god athletic physique with big toned arms, broad shoulders, a very toned chest, and then a six pack and a low body fat percentage. And that is definitely possible. But it is not possible to just have a six pack and have the rest of your body be average, because a six pack is not necessarily a normal feat. Now, the easiest way for almost anybody who's been trying losing weight or just doesn't have a six pack naturally, because a very, very small percentage of people actually do. For almost everybody you see who has it, they have been working a lot for it and they're doing a lot to maintain it if it's that, perfectly toned Greek god physique six pack. But you can achieve it just as much as they can. All you have to do is just lose weight. It sounds simple, and it really is. It might not be easy, it is definitely hard. Again, I spent 7 years trying to do all sorts of things before I eventually saw results. But once you find the system and the technique that works for you, it is very, very easy to just stay consistent with that thing, and then eventually you will reach your goal. I mean, I currently have a series running right now where I'm trying to get a six pack. You can go watch that one if you want. And, as almost everybody else, it has its ups and downs. But you have to lose weight on your entire body for your belly and your belly fat to be gone. Makes sense, right? Easy to understand. Then, let me tell you how you can then lose weight so you can get that six pack you want. The most important thing to know when you're trying to lose weight is your calories. You have to eat less calories than you burn. Makes very good sense, right? Imagine that your body is a car. If you want your car to slim down, then you will want your car to have less fuel in the tank than what it needs to run on a daily basis. Even though that doesn't work for a car, because again, a car needs fuel to run, but I still think you get the point, right? So, how do I do that? Well, option one is calorie tracking. You can track your calories. You can use apps like MyFitnessPal to figure out how many calories you eat on a daily basis, how many calories you need, and then you can just go off of that. And a general rule of thumb is 500 calories a day in a deficit is around half a kilo or 1 pound a week of fat loss. So that is a very good rule of thumb to go after. If not, if you think counting calories is so boring, I've heard it's so annoying and I don't want to weigh all my food. And I get that. I did count calories personally myself, but there are plenty of ways to go about not counting calories in your daily life and still lose weight? Well, first of all, just incorporate a lot of activity in your daily day. But I think that if you're watching this, you are either an entrepreneur or in other ways a busy guy. And that means that you don't have the time to spend an hour on the treadmill in the gym every single day. Then you can try to cut down on the unhealthy foods or on the fatty or calorie dense foods that you might be eating. You know, you can count your calories without counting your calories by simply looking at the foods that you eat, the ingredients list in the food that you eat. Then you can see the nutritional table and see what it contains. Because if you're eating something with 500 calories per 100 grams and you're eating 300 grams of that, that's 1500 calories. That's more or less 3/4 for almost every one of you watching this. That's almost 3/4 of your entire daily calorie goal. So try to stick away from high calorie foods and try to just figure out and eat low calorie, nutrient dense foods. There are a lot of great alternatives. You can find a lot of them on the internet. I have a lot of them in my Skool community that you can join. And it's all about just finding those few meals that you can actually eat almost every single day, and then you will be good to go for a long period of time. I had 4 core meals that I ate, I think at least 3 times a week in those 8 months when I was losing a lot of weight. And that was so amazing because I didn't have to spend energy figuring out what I had to eat. I could just, think to myself, okay, I need something to eat, I'm making this. And that could be something as simple as, a healthy version of takeout. It doesn't have to be boring. You don't have to live off chicken, rice, and broccoli to lose weight. You can eat some really delicious and satisfying meals and still lose weight. And again, losing weight is that key to losing belly fat. I'm just trying to, rewire your mind, because you have to understand that all of the fitness gurus who say, oh, just do these 3 ab workouts and then you can get a 6-pack in 3 days. That's not possible. Sorry to break it to you. Hate to be the guy that does that to you. I used to believe those guys myself. It's simply not possible. Let's say you were already at that, let's say 14% body fat mark, but you just had no, abs. You hadn't trained your abs. It will still take you more than 3 days or 3 weeks to get your abs. Just to tell you, it is definitely possible, but it's gonna take longer than you think. And it is a process that revolves a lot of other things than just your belly fat. It is a permanent lifestyle change, and that doesn't have to be as scary as it sounds. But you have to lose weight, and you have to stay consistent with it for your belly fat to eventually be gone. And if you want help with losing weight, then there's a free training in the description that tells you about the system that I use to lose weight. And just remember that it is definitely possible, but you do not want the 6-pack, you want the physique associated with a 6-pack, and that requires quite a bit of work, and that is not just some quick fix. Not to take your dreams and hopes and aspirations away from you, it is definitely possible, and it is simple. Like I said, it's simple, but it's not easy, but you can definitely do it. I believe in you. I've been through it myself. I know what it takes, and it's definitely possible, and it's not necessarily as hard as other people make it if you just do it the right way and have the right systems. Thanks for watching, my amazing friend, and until next time, take care and stay safe.